Move it or lose it. Anti-mandate protesters in Wellington have been warned their vehicles will be towed and police will arrest anyone who gets in the way. The change in tactics comes as the occupation of Parliament grounds drags into a second week. Kate Nichol-Williams with the latest.
A final warning from law enforcement: move these vehicles or get towed.
Vehicles that are towed will be seized and will not necessarily be returned to the owners immediately.
Today, council parking wardens issuing 130 tickets for cars still blocking the streets, but protesters remain undeterred.
If I go home now and I vacate this place, that was all for nothing.
They have no right to tow us. We're not hurting anyone.
For the rest of New Zealand, we're here for the rest of New Zealand.
Just a handful moved on the police offer of nearby free parking.
If the cars move, then part of our community is going to be lost.
Picking at little things like car parks in the wrong space, that's not what it's about. This whole thing is wrong.
One News spoke to towing companies around the country. None wanted to speak on camera, but said removal would be dangerous and complex. Each camper van would take an hour to remove. Another challenge for authorities is the legality of towing these vehicles. Cars that are occupied cannot be towed.
We have, from the outset of this, had very great reluctance from tow operators to support us in clearing this situation. So part of what we would like to do today is to appeal to those who are tow operators to come forward and help us.
On Parliament lawn, protest leaders are telling the crowd to be peaceful. And as protesters' calls to end COVID-19 health restrictions continue to go unanswered by politicians, a former police negotiator says someone from Parliament should respond.
One person come down and say, we're going to give you a couple of 3 hours, get 4 or 5 people together, we're going to move off-site, because when you hold a conversation in the scene where the emotions are, it's not going to work.
You're getting recorded, you guys.
Emotions still high as the standoff takes another turn.
And Kate's joining us now live from Wellington. Kia ora, Kate. Give us the latest on the police movement.
Well, there's been no movement at the scene yet. Police have launched this national response today after days this week of big talk and little action. Yesterday, police told media that they were very optimistic cars would move voluntarily from the main road outside Parliament and that only a few outliers may need to be towed. However, that didn't happen. Today, we've been told that protesters have not much time to move their vehicles before police take greater action. However, in an embarrassing position for the police commissioner, he did have to then make the national plea to tow companies to get involved to do the job. I've been speaking to businesses today and they say that they wouldn't do the job because of the risks involved, no matter what price police pay. So when I've spoken to the protesters out there recently, they're confident because of this. Some weren't aware of the news that police are now threatening them even with arrests, but they are largely remaining strong in their resolve to stay there until their requests are met. So at the moment there is still police relying on the goodwill of protesters, which hasn't got us far at this point, and they will need to take stronger action about, even though how that will appear remains unclear. One News understands that no political parties want to speak to the protesters at this point, and we also understand that the Defence Force has been contacted by police